I'm back. I'm very excited to start getting into new content. I say new content, this video is actually technically a remake of an old video from like nearly 2 years ago that I accidentally deleted because I don't understand technology. So I'm kind of going to do a revamp of it, do some more updated stuff and just kind of make it a bit more casual, just kind of have fun with it. So today I want to talk about the gayest straight musical of all time, in my opinion, and that is Wicked, and why, seriously, this musical is so gay. Alright, okay, I'm so ready to dive into this. I've seen Wicked in like live twice. I've listened to all the various different recordings. I've watched parts of the Korean musical of it as well. I'm learning Korean, so that's why, and also I wanted to watch the musical again some way. And I absolutely adore this musical. Main reason being, it is really, really gay. I'm sorry, Elphaba and Glinda are in love, but they are not ready to admit that to themselves. And this whole story is basically, you know, them trying to figure it out. And in the fact that Idina Menzel, who obviously most well known for playing Elphaba, has managed to play two not really gay but definitely gay icons in Elsa and Elphaba. I mean, literally, how has she managed? Oh wait, she also played another gay character, didn't she, on Rent? She's played many gay icons who can sing. We stan. But Wicked is honestly, the story of Wicked is basically the story of someone trying to come to terms with their sexuality. It's about a girl who's ostracized because of who they are, what they look like, and basically having to deal with this prejudice that comes from these people and overcoming it and becoming who she is, but also at the same time ending up conforming to what society wants at the same time. Elphaba is a character who I believe starts off knowing who she is in some sense, is more confident in her identity, and then that eventually fades when the world turns further against her after defying gravity. She has accepted who she is, she knows everything about herself, but nearing the end of the story, she's settled. She's fallen back into these conventions of what the world expects and wants from her, and ends up with the guy and doesn't seem all that happy for it. Like, the ending of the musical is a literal joke in a sense of Elphaba surviving, Scarecrow guy, is it Fiero? I think so, because I always got it confused and thought it was like Fiero Rocher, or Rocher, whatever you want to pronounce it as. And it ends up like you laugh at the end because he does his dumb little scarecrow walk sort of thing as they're walking away into the sunset. Like, the ending of her ending up with a guy is the joke. Just, you know. And then Glinda is a sort of opposing side. She starts the opposite. She is deeply entrenched in what society wants. She is the pretty girl. She's the popular girl. She goes after the guy that everyone thinks is hot because, you know, that's what people expect of her to do. She gets frustrated with her female roommate whilst also kind of wanting to be close to her at the same time, even though society is not accepting of that. And then when we get to defying gravity, she jumps in hard to this belief that she needs to stick to these societal and heteronormative conventions. She gets the guy, but she isn't happy. She's got the guy, she's got the magic, she's got the respect and support of Oz, but it's not what she wants, and she's not happy with it. And then eventually she moves away from that. She moves into what she really does want, which is, you know, being a good person and doing the right thing and caring for this friend no matter what people are telling her to do. And she's the one who's, in my opinion, fully happy and accepting of herself. I mean, come on, she ends up being a literal fairy. Oh, my fellow queer people are going to understand that joke. But like, she accepts everything about herself by the end. She isn't with the guy. She isn't conforming to what the world expects of her. If anything, she's actually telling the story of truth of who her friend was. She is true to herself, whereas Elphaba, for her own safety, has fallen away from living her truth. I think it's just a really interesting convention of the fact that they do go down very different paths. One sticks to conforming, the other moves away from it, and then they switch. And I think it's a really interesting way to look at things, because that kind of does happen. And so I can kind of see that and understand, like, Elphaba is in danger on a constant, regular occasion. So seeing her revert back to this safety net of having this beard in Fiero Rocha, but seeing her fall back into that and seeing Elphaba embracing her identity, it's kind of sad at the same time. But the main thing about this is their relationship. No offence to the character of Fiero. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, so Fiero is just kind of that. He's like this whole situation of films that clearly should have been gay, like Ice Princess, for example, where they always bring in a random brother character for the main female who's best friends with the other female and very, very close with the other female, because they can't have the two females end up together, so they got to bring in a brother. Any film that randomly has a brother to, like, the main female that our main female is interacting with, you know it could have been gay, but they had to bring in a male. Basically, that's what Fiero is. Elphaba and Glinda are clearly meant to be together. The songs that they sing with each other, they both have a sort of ballad with Fiero. I think one of them's like Dancing. Is it Dancing Through Life? Yeah, so we have Dancing Through Life and As Long As You're Mine. So they both have a ballady sort of number with Fiero. And those are the songs that most people don't know or appreciate. They're good songs, I will give that, but the songs between Elphaba and Glinda are the best songs, and they're also the ones that show that their relationship is real. We have What Is This Feeling?, where they confuse literal connective emotions to love with loathing, because they're both useless bisexuals. I'm not saying lesbians, I think they're probably bisexual. I can get on board with Fiero, but they are definitely bisexual and were more interested in each other than Fiero. But they panicked. Then we have Popular. Popular is all about all about Glinda trying to get Elphaba to kind of be more confident in herself and find a way for people to kind of be more appreciative of her as well. Glinda, you know, not always going about it in the right way, but she's trying, she's interacting with her, she's getting involved to kind of make her feel more confident in herself. She's not doing it, she's slightly doing it for selfish reasons, but she's also doing it just to kind of help Elphaba feel more included. Then, of course, we have Defying Gravity, and they have the interactions there are kind of that moment of, like, when the main characters break up with each other at, like, that sort of climaxy point of the story. That's basically their breakup song, but also kind of not, because there's sort of melancholy about it. And then For Good. For Good is the gayest song I've ever heard. Sort of, just saying that because I knew I've been changed for good. Everything about it just feels gay. But everything about Wicked and the Elphaba and Glinda relationship, there's just something about it that just feels more natural and intrinsic to their stories. Like, without either of these characters and their relationship with each other, both of their arcs and their relationships with others and their understanding of the world would not be there. Fiero, literally, if you remove him from the story, nothing changes. Except maybe the fact that the whole the whole scarecrow situation. But even then, you don't need to have him in a romantic relationship with either one of them for that scarecrow thing to happen. Like, the romantic elements don't matter to the story with him. He's just kind of there. Whereas Elphaba and Glinda, their relationship with one another is the point of the story. And yes, I know it's the whole thing of like, this is Elphaba, so the Wicked Witch of the West's story, her origin story in that sense. But I think more than anything, it's showing that relationships are complicated, and these two have something that is so deep and important that it makes things confusing. And just every time I watch the musical, particularly For Good, when they're holding hands, they're looking at each other, they stare each other into the eyes. There's even been musicals where they've had them and where they share a kiss. They know it's a thing, but it's never fully kind of gone there. And I think that's something that's kind of the letdown of the musical, is that it's so there, but they haven't been brave enough to actually do it, which is disappointing. But everything else about this, it feels like a coming out story in a sense. It feels like two queer women trying to understand who they are through falling in love with one another and not understanding how to deal with that. And I think it's just a really interesting concept for a musical, and I think they're still doing a film adaptation. I don't actually know, and if they do, for the love of God, please make it actually gay. And that's my rant over. I don't think I covered much of what I said in my original video for this. That one was a lot more coherent than what's happened here. This has been a bit more of a rant about this straight gay musical, but no, this gay straight musical. That's what I wanted to say. But I think Wicked is just a really interesting case of a story that is kind of queerbaity, but also isn't, because the elements are there. They just weren't brave enough to take that next step. The musical was still amazing. I'm still going to support it. I'm still going to watch it whenever I can afford to go to the West End or any of the shows. The tours are expensive. Why is musical theatre so expensive? But yeah, this is my first video coming back, and it's just me ranting about a gay musical that wasn't gay enough, in my opinion. And yeah, people may disagree, but I'm intrigued to see what you guys have to say about this. So what do you think about the Wicked musical? What other musicals as well? It doesn't have to be on West End or Broadway. It could be film musicals as well that you think were gay, straight musicals. Let me know in the comment section, and maybe I'll get to them at some point in the future. I kind of do want to do stuff like this, like things that were so gay but weren't actually gay, and just discuss it. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. If you want to see more stuff like this, well, you don't have a choice. I'm going to do it anyway, because I'm going to enjoy making this content. Yeah, thank you all for tuning into this first episode back from my hiatus. It has been a lot of fun. I'm ready to dive in to do more, and yeah, as always, in the description box you'll find the links to all of my social media, my merchandise store, and my Patreon, where if you want to support me, that is the place to do so. Can't support me financially, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, drop a thumbs up, a comment, share with your friends, and yeah, thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.